and they struck in transition pretty.
It was a night that the Leafs and Leaf fans alike will look to forget. Chris Johnston, not the Maple Leafs' best performance. A very impressive performance from the Winnipeg Jets. We'll talk about the Leafs in a second, but let's start with the Jets. The more that you get the opportunity to see this team in action here in Toronto against the Leafs, just how much more impressed are you time and time again?
Well, look, they have designs on winning this division, and it's well within their power to do so. They pulled within 3 points, the Leafs, with this victory here in Toronto, and they have 3 more games in a row against them next week at home. And so, I think if you're the Jets right now, you're looking at a very deep forward group that you have, and they struck in transition pretty dangerously in this game against Toronto. You love your goaltender, and this is a team that very much could come out of this North Division. And I think certainly, the Leafs at this point respect them, and they're being pushed by them here in the later stages of this regular season.
Now, the narrative was fitting. At the morning skate, Frederik Andersen shows up for the first time in a very long time and takes a quick twirl. And then that night, Jack Campbell gets pulled early. There's lots of goalie talk in Toronto. Do you just chalk this one up, though, as a bad night for Jack Campbell?
Yeah, a little bit of that. I think part of the pull here, too, though, was that the Leafs had given up 2 really dangerous rushes against. And so it was, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, that Campbell's performance wasn't up to standard. And certainly the first goal against him was one that he, would probably save more often than not. And then, Sheldon Keefe didn't like the Leafs' response. And it's kind of interesting the way that game got away from them. They're up 1-0. They had a 5-on-3 power play and then quickly found themselves down 3-1. And so I think he was looking for a response there. But you can't get past the fact that Jack Campbell has not been as sharp here his last few starts. And that's why they went out and got David Rittich in a lot of ways, to have an extra piece of insurance there, because Frederik Andersen's return is still very much up in the air.
Now, I would ask you if the power play struggles for the Leafs were a cause for concern, but that would be the ultimate captain obvious question. So I won't specifically ask you that, but I'll ask you just how big of a problem is this for the Maple Leafs as it extends longer and longer, that they aren't scoring with the man advantage?
Well, it's gotten mental, I think. I mean, look, you have as many dynamic offensive players as they do. You never expect to go 1 for 37 over a month. It's almost impossible, it feels like. You just think you throw any collection of their forwards out there that they're going to score more often than that. They were hurt in this game probably by having William Nylander out due to COVID protocol. Obviously, Austin Matthews, the league's goal-scoring leader. In this game in particular, not getting a power play goal is probably the biggest reason the Leafs, found themselves trailing and couldn't call them all the way back. So, I do think that they have to sort of vanquish this mentally somehow. They got 12 regular season games to do it, because you get to the playoffs and those small little margins tend to make the difference in a game. And if they ever go 0 for 4 in a playoff game, the odds of them winning it are not particularly high.
Well, Chris, we now have to wait and see what's next for the Maple Leafs. We know they likely won't play Saturday in Vancouver when they do play the Canucks, so still very much up in the air.